out there, peeps? Okay, sometime around the beginning of March, people were sending me this article about the Queen and asking all kinds of questions. And some of the people asking me questions obviously listened to the other YouTubers about the Queen being executed and her going to court and her being a clone and the whole 9 yards. So I decided to take a look at this article, and I was trying to figure out how can I address this issue once and for all about how, the Queen being sent to Gitmo and then all of a sudden going to trial, and then all of a sudden we got a clone out there. And if you really look at her face, man, I'm more inclined to believe she's a reptile than she is a clone, man. That's one scary looking chick. Now, the weird thing is this. About 7 years ago, a friend of mine who is into what people would call conspiracies had an opportunity to meet the Queen. And when he came back, I was expecting something great, something freaky for him to tell me. He said she was one of the nicest people he's ever met. She was very kind, very polite to the guest, but looked a little sharp against her staff members, which is not surprising. But anyways, yeah, if you look at this picture, yeah, even at 90, it looks like she could jump to the screen and literally bite your head off and eat it. Pretty scary. So I'm going to get into what it is that I found, and we'll read this article and then cover it. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. By now, you know you need gold and silver to be out of the system. Not only that, it's a hedge against inflation, as well as a protector for your retirement account. So go buy some gold and silver, and when you do, go to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. So this is the article that was sent to me several times with a lot of questions. It says the Queen leaves Buckingham Palace for good as she moves permanently to Windsor Castle. And everybody was saying, look, Pimpy, she's not a control no more. She's no longer the Queen. Some of them were saying she's not even allowed over there at Buckingham Palace. And people were saying, oh, no, this is a clone. And the other people were saying, oh, see, she's been tried at Gitmo and she's been executed. And they're getting ready to announce it. And the media's going to put a spin on it like something else happened to her. And I thought, wow, okay, let's take a look at this article. Because she is leaving Buckingham Palace. It says the Queen is to make a permanent move to Windsor Castle after not staying at Buckingham Palace for 2 years. Now, I remember everybody was saying, look, the Queen's not even at Buckingham Palace no more. They were saying the castle, but it was the Buckingham Palace. That's because the Buckingham Palace is in the middle of renovations. But people were using the closure as their proof that the Queen had been tried at Gitmo and was no longer in power. And then people were saying the same thing about Biden, that he's not at the White House, which is actually true. And it's not so much that they're doing renovations, which they're doing a little cleanup, but that's because they do have him in the studio. That is the truth, because he's too much of an idiot to have walking around the White House. If he walks around the White House, they are afraid that staff members will leak the truth out that he really mentally is not all there and that he's being controlled like a puppet. That's why he's not at the White House. That's why he's with his handlers at a studio. And it should just make you sick. It should make you sick to your stomach that this is being allowed to happen. This man's supposed to be the leader of the free world, and he can't even wipe his own butt. And people don't complain enough about this. The 95-year-old monarch has been working from home at the Brookshire Castle since the pandemic began. She is now set to stay there permanently as renovations at Buckingham Palace continue for another 5 years. The move comes as the Queen recovers from the RONA and another undisclosed health issue that saw her spend a night in the hospital in October and then several weeks resting on doctor's advice. At an official engagement in February, she was pictured leaning on a walking stick and told her advisors, as you can see, I can't move. Here is the Queen in the video, just so you can see.
I'm here. I thought you did. I thought you, my Majesty stayed there for ages. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Majesty. How are you?
Well, as you can see, I can't move.
Oh, well, many congratulations on the start of your Jubilee year.
Good morning. Oh, thank you very much indeed. That's very kind.
No, that's right. And I noticed you'd got Candy keeping guard, because as we came down the corridor, she was not going to let us get anywhere near you.
Oh, really?
No, she was
Giving her the growl.
growl as
She?
well.
came in, yeah.
She doesn't normally growl, but
She's obviously can see through us.
I thought the guard's comment was funny because the dog's growling at them, and she said, the queen says she doesn't normally growl. And the guy's response was, she could obviously see through us. Really now? So what you're saying is that you're actually bad? To continue, the Buckingham Palace will remain the central headquarters of the monarchy, though the Queen is now expected to carry out her engagements both virtually and in person from Windsor, the Telegraph understands, as well as going to events outside the castle. In London, she's expected to attend the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey, and that was back on March the 14th, and a service of Thanksgiving for Prince Philip at the Abbey on March 29th. She's also expected to take a visible role at June's Platinum Jubilee celebration. The Queen and the royal family are expected to appear on the balcony this up and coming June 2nd for her official birthday parade. The festivals for which the UK has been given a 4-day bank holiday weekend will also include Trope the Colour and the Music Festival, the Platinum Party at the Palace on Saturday, June the 4th. The move marks the end of an era as the Queen's royal standard, a signal to the world that she is at home in Buckingham Palace, will now rarely be seen. In her absence, the Union flag flies above the building instead. Her annual calendar usually includes seasonal moves around the UK, but in recent years, these have been disrupted by the RONA. She's expected to resume them this year, spending the summer at Balmoral in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and going to Sandringham in Norfolk from December until mid-February. The plan to move away from London forms parts of a long-standing shift, with Windsor Castle and Balmoral always expected to become more important as the monarch entered her 10th decade. Good lordy. While Buckingham Palace contains royal apartments, it is also a government building and may offer less home comforts than the Queen's other residence. This is particularly the case as it undergoes a long-awaited £369 million overhaul of its electrics and plumbing, last replaced in 1950s. Good Lord. The revamp began in April 2017. Analysts of the Queen's Diary in 2015 by the Telegraph showed that she had already dramatically reduced the amount of time she spent at Buckingham Palace. Staff also concentrated her work into fewer days to help conserve her energy. The monarch spent 109 nights there in 2011, dropped to 88 in 2015. Nights at the Windsor Castle rose from 119 to 159 in the same period. A royal source said at this time there is a lot of events planned to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday in 2016. So it will be a big year, but after that, we will see a slight gear change to make things more manageable with a bigger role for other members of the royal families. Now, no, this article is not from 2016. This is just what the source was saying, that her role in decision making would change over time. The Balmoral estate in Scotland, long known to be a favorite residence, was also expected to become more important as it offers her more privacy, peace, and space for relaxation than other homes. Anyone who's ever listened to my Nasera Jacera videos over time knows I do not align myself with the thinking of the other YouTubers who go out there telling you all kinds of far wackadoo stories that there's no proof of anything that they're saying. And it just blows my mind how any one little thing that somebody says, like, look at this picture, one ear is higher than the other, that's somehow proof that they're now clones. So, 3 days after I started getting articles, my youngest kid, who's still in high school, had this research project, and I asked the teacher if they could help me out on a particular subject. What I asked the students to do was to go through the internet, go through the archive Q post, do a search on YouTube, do a search on articles, find out how many times it has been reported that Queen Elizabeth has been taken to Gitmo, has been tried and executed, and is now a clone. She thought I was crazy at first, but I told her that I was serious, using all the resources that they could. Now, keep in mind, these are high schooler kids, so I'm not sure how much time was actually put into the project. But it came back, there was 11 since 2017. 11 times, 11 different dates in which Queen Elizabeth was said to have gone to Gitmo, faced a tribunal, found guilty, and was executed. And now we're seeing her clone. 11 different dates. Now, I'm sure if I had them sit there and go through all the people that we've heard time and time again that have gone to Gitmo, that have been executed, and are now a clone, and find multiple dates that this has been reported. Now, again, we are talking about high schooler kids. I'm sure there's probably a lot more than 11. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they actually did the research. Either way, the point is they found 11 different times going back as far as 2017 in which there is a report that the Queen has been taken to Gitmo, at a tribunal, found guilty, executed, and she is now a clone. The thing that gets me is any one of you guys out there can do this research on your own. Instead, you tune into these YouTube channels and listen to this BS and you suck it up like a sponge. And I'm sure every few months you hear a story about her going to Gitmo, being executed, tried. That's why her palace is being empty because she's not in there. She's been executed. Come to find out, it's just renovations. So when I bring this type of thing up to people, they get so bent out of shape, man. No, man, Pimpy, you're wrong. These people have all been executed and tried, and there's no proof of it whatsoever. I've done several videos telling you where you can go to find out who has and who has not gone to any military tribunals at Gitmo. It has an archive of them. It lists everybody on there that has gone to trial, that is in the middle of a trial, and that is looking at a future trial in Gitmo. And even then, when you give them all the evidence, they have some other excuse. Oh, yeah, they keep these particular trials secretive, but yet you have the information. Okay. I like how everything is so secretive, but yet it's all over YouTube. I mean, I never could figure that one out. So there you go. Several of you have asked me about the Queen and the tribunals. So I'm reading this article. What do we find out? She's still up and kicking around. She's not getting around as good as she used to. She is up there in age. And again, I'm more inclined to think that she's actually a reptile with this picture right here than I am a clone. Okay? So no, the Queen has not gone to Gitmo. No, the Queen has not been tried. She did not get a tribunal, and she has not been executed, and she is not a clone. She's a lizard. Here I am again, busting people's bubbles. I know they hate this. It drives them insane. They believe it so much that there's hundreds and hundreds of politicians around the world and famous people that have all gone to Gitmo. Despite the fact that there's absolutely, positively not a shred of evidence at all that this has happened. And then when I see that, they always come back and go, well, where's your proof that it didn't happen? And those type of questions always make me laugh. Yep, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This old biddy is still up running around and doing her thing. I'm sure she's probably out there eating kids or something like that, but I don't know. So, no, you guys, the answer to a lot of your questions is, do I think she's been to a tribunal? Not at all. Do I think she's a clone? No. Do I think she's a reptile? That's very possible. But yeah, she's up and kicking around, and the reason that she has not been over there at Buckingham is because it's being renovated, not because of any other tribunal or anything like that. Again, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. So anyways, that's it for now. I'll catch you later. I'm out.